Hello my friends and welcome back to Innisphere Wars. It is the second fight of the Free Worlds League against the Lyrian Commonwealth. It is once again
Command interface initiated.
White representing the Free Worlds League, and we will actually be having the battle from his perspective this time. And he is up against RON1N, who is defending the Lyrian Commonwealth on this occasion.
Waiting for order.
So yeah, after the first match, White really liked it, and he asked me how I could get it set up, how he could get OBS set up to record. So we will be getting some matches from his perspective as well as COD's perspective, and I'm sure other players as well. So obviously some of the sound will be different and visual quality will be different depending on the players. But as I said before, there's no observer mode, so there's no way to get around that, unfortunately. So I'm hoping that White wins here, because obviously he lost the first match, and I think it would be good for him to get a win in the bag.
No.
He was very keen to just play again, despite getting knocked down by COD. So you got a little bit of a fan in me, White, for your dedication to just getting stuck straight back in.
Commander?
So Innisphere Wars has got an elo system as well. So what that means is that basically, if you lose a load of battles, then don't worry, your opponents will get a BV penalty, depending on how many times they've thrashed you, basically. So you'll always have the opportunity for a match that's sort of fairer and more tailored to your skill level. But obviously, if your opponents are deploying less equipment and getting more done with it, I think the overall map of the war will sort of go towards them. So it still benefits you to be a really good player, of course. But the idea is to keep the matches interesting for casual players, and if you want to get into PvP and all that, just note that you'll probably go up against some players who are really good and get smacked around a bit, but the system is self-correcting, so after a while you will face matches that are more balanced to your level. Anyway, so RON1N here is I don't know what he's got. He could have anything. But White has elected for 3 mediums here. 3 very good mediums, so I presume that RON1N will have something very similar. Okay, so that's a Jenner. So these two are on top of each other, it would seem, without realizing it. I think we'll be in for a brawl here pretty much immediately.
Coordinates received.
Now the trebuchet here is an interesting choice. It's very soft mech, but it has a lot of long-range firepower. So you can see here White is lining up to basically hide it behind the hill. So he's trying to get a view of what RON1N's lines of fire are going to be. Alright, now, so no one wants to make the first move here because everyone's got loads of evasion tokens. You only really want to shoot at a target that you know is not going to move for a while. So if RON1N's got 4 mechs, this puts White at a disadvantage because he will not be able to out-reserve someone who has got 4 mechs. Alright, he's going in the heavy phase. Interesting. He's decided to make the first move. So, the obvious counterplay for... okay, RON1N has got 4 mechs. The obvious counterplay for RON1N is going to be to move that Jenner immediately. Oh, he didn't fire though. So he's just braced out front. And now we're in the assault phase. So, I don't know if it was necessary to make this move, to be honest. But okay, we'll see how it pans out. It's arguably more defensive than the previous position. But it's less evasion and more mitigation. Okay, that's a victor. So, oof. Ronin has brought a victor to the party, which is the assault mech with the medium armor. It's an assault mech that basically no one usually deploys because it's so soft. It's very easy to do unbearable damage to it. You can see here that White is immediately thinking the same thing, that he's going to focus fire down the victor because it's slow and it has hardly any armor, and it's also short range, so it just makes the ideal target every tick box. Those are some good hits. Oof. I mean, White's mediums have actually got more armor than the Victor has got. That's how soft it is, despite being 2 weight classes higher. From the perspective of this fight, I guess the frightening thing about the Victor will be if it gets close enough to DFA, because assault class DFA is a vast quantity of damage, and stab damage. You could potentially one-shot fill the stab bar with a DFA from a Victor on a medium, then knock it over and focus it down.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how it plays out. Ronin has deployed the Victor, so I'm sure he's aware of its strengths and weaknesses. It's probably very cheap in terms of BV, just because it's so soft. I mean, not only has it got less hit points than a medium, like I said, but because it's an assault, it's got less evasion and less speed as well, so it is potentially a pinata with which to be struck until the AC-20 candy comes out. Yeah, you can see here that White is staring at this at this right torso that's full of ammo. And once that ammo goes up, the Victor's firepower just plummets. So yeah, it's... If I were Ronin here, I would have potentially moved the Victor around by jumping it. I'm pretty sure that the Victor's got 4 jump jets. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure that the Victor's got 4 jump jets, and so I would potentially be bouncing it around like a rabbit. He has actually taken a lot of damage on it here, which might not have been necessary. This Jenner, by the way, has a lot of firepower, but it runs mega hot. So Ronin will be able to call on that firepower for a couple of turns and then it will run out. Well, not run out, but the Jenner will be so hot by that point that he will not be able to fire it again without risking shutting down or having to greatly strip down the number of weapons used. Okay. I'm not sure how I feel about that jump. Just putting more heat on an already hot mech.
They've got a lock on me.
And I actually feel... I feel like the Jenner could have sprinted forward here and caused White some problems in terms of having to turn around and deal with it.
Yep.
So I'm not sure that that move advanced Ronin's cause very much there. I would have potentially sprinted the Jenner like right back. Maybe get up in the Trebuchet's face, or at least behind the Wolverine. Oh! Well, that's bad news for the Victor. It now has less firepower than the Jenner. That ain't good. Still a very dangerous mech, but only dangerous now in melee. He needs to close the distance with it, if at all possible. Okay, interesting move. Oh, that's unfortunate. So Ronin here has spent a lot of heat to try and get that good side shot.
Standing by.
Potentially destabilizing side shot there, and it's not worked out, unfortunately. I'm not sure if the PPC is actually taking a minimum range penalty from that distance, to be fair. Alright. I'm not entirely sure that you want to get close to the victor. To be honest with you, I would... Knowing that its only real capability now is in melee, I wouldn't really want to get close to it. But I think White here is going to aggressively pursue the kill on the victor. Now this is funny. I would have in the past called this a body block. So the Centurion is parked in front of the victor. And depending on the angle, that does mean that the victor cannot be directly targeted.
I'm wounded, Commander.
But thanks to the stray shot mechanic, it's not really a defense anymore. It was a move that was very good before Urban Warfare, but is now actually potentially a bad move. And it looks like you can still get the shot here on the victor despite the Centurion being in front of it, so you might as well scrap what I was saying there. Ooh, headshot. I don't really think that matters though. 109 hit points is still quite a lot on the core of the victor there. Yeah, he has got 4 jump jets. That's what I thought. Yeah, I'm not really sure about that move. If he had the opportunity, I would have wanted to go feet first into the enemy, because you're not going to get much else done. And this goes back to the beginning of the fight. Had Ronin jumped and braced the victor, so if you've got jump jets, jump bracing is one of the best defensive maneuvers you can do, especially at the start of the fight when you're not spending any heat on any weapons. Had the victor been jump braced, it would have potentially taken a lot less damage and maybe possibly not even lost its weapon systems so early. It's when you put all your eggs into one assault basket, as it were, you do want to think about protecting it and preventing it from being focus fired, at least until it can get into combat and actually get some work done, especially if you've chosen a really soft mech with reasonable firepower. I think going into this battle, the victor potentially had the most alpha strike of all of the mechs on offer here. Okay, this is interesting. Nice.
Reporting internal damage.
So now we're sort of we're stuck in a sandwich of sandwiches here.
What do you need?
Okay, so White has seen the opportunity here to go for the back of the Griffin, and this is the Goldilocks zone for his medium lasers and LRMs here.
I'm here.
Okay, so I guess he's thinking that he wants to strip the evasion first before he goes for the rear strike. Which makes sense. Or not. I wouldn't go for the victor here. I think it's actually in a very defensive position right now. Oh, okay. Alright, yep.
I've got a sensor lock.
So he does want to strip the evasion off of the Griffin after all. So he could potentially shoot the Griffin in the back twice here with the trebuchet and potentially kill it. And the thing about the Griffin is all of its weapons are in one side. It's a shield arm design. And he has presented the shield side to these two mediums, but the trebuchet potentially could rip the arm weapon off. And it's very easy to do with the Griffin. Because, well, not only are all the weapons on one side, but one of the weapons is an LRM-10. And so, obviously, LRM-10s have got ammo, and that ammo, if it cooks off, it rips the whole arm off. Arm, torso, all the weapons gone.
Standing by.
And you end up with a mech that can't really do anything. It'd be amazing if he punched his block off here.
Roger that.
Melee attacks are always threatening. Alright. Not a headshot, but potentially still very good. Gives an opportunity to take the Griffin out from the front if the trebuchet is not able to take it out from behind.
Yeah?
So you can see here, look, White has effectively doubled his chances to hit.
Eat this.
Nice. Ooh.
Nice.
Actually very unlucky there to not get the LRM ammo. And if the LRM ammo goes up, then the Griffin loses all of its weapons. So Ronin would be well advised to get this Griffin off the front line. I'm not 100% sure it should have been on the front line in the first place, considering it's a long-range mech, but anyway. Okay, he's trying to knock down the Wolverine here. The jump that he did earlier did not position him in such a way that he could have followed up with a melee or a DFA. And the Victor has not really got very many weapons, so I'm not quite sure how I feel about that string of moves. Okay. Alright, I was wondering if the General was going to do anything.
I'm losing armor bad.
Okay, the General is busy cooking itself.
What do you need?
So the Trebuchet gets to go again, and I don't think the Griffin will survive this time.
Let's move.
It has so few hit points left. At the very least, it's going to lose all of its weapons.
Take this.
Ooh. I'm not sure if it was worth overheating there for, Oof.
Hostile removed.
Ah, there you go.
Generating a lot of heat.
I'm not 100% sure it was worth overheating there. I think he would have probably killed that, or at least disabled it anyway, but fair enough. Things are now looking very bad for Ronin here, having lost that Griffin. So, I guess the strategy for Ronin here will be to try and focus down this Wolverine and actually get a kill on the board.
Internal structure damage.
Now, he's knocked it down, but
I'm hit.
I don't know if he has the resources to actually follow up with an attack here before White is able to pick it back up off the floor.
Yes, Commander.
Obviously, having been knocked down, the
Gain footing.
the
Good to
Wolverine
go.
will have a massive to hit penalty, so it's not really going to be able to do anything. I don't believe that the 2-hit penalty affects melee though, so he could melee, or he might potentially just want to run with this mech.
Order acknowledged.
That said, he probably still needs to keep it fighting at the moment. So you see, the 2-hit penalty here is awful.
Target locked.
Alright, I don't think that was particularly a consequential hit. Still 109 HP in the CT there.
Yes, Commander.
I suppose it did strip an evasion token at the very least. Alright, nice hits.
Critical hit, Commander.
Despite being an assault, the Victor uses heavy jump jets because it's 80 tons. And that's like the actual limit of heavy jump jets. And then assault jets start at 85 plus. So jump jets are actually kind of misnomer named.
I'm wounded. I'm losing weapon systems.
It's the right move, I just feel like it's come too late. I think potentially he might have been able to, well, deconstructing everything that's happened, he potentially wanted to jump the Victor in the beginning to protect it more. But once he did lose the weapon, I think he wanted to get in there and get fighty with the front medium ASAP. See, the problem now is that this Jenner is badly overheated and so can't use its weapons. And White is regularly being given opportunities here to restabilize this Wolverine, basically. He's been given a lot of chances to prevent it from being knocked down, or if it's been knocked down, there's no follow-up. So his potential good move now is to just immediately brace this Wolverine. Nice.
Lost stability.
Now you see, that's all the weapons gone, so
Commander, I'm hit.
this Wolverine is out of the fight and potentially you would want to ignore it. But that said, I think Ronin is realizing that this game has slipped out of his hands.
Reading you.
And so he'll want to score a kill here on the Wolverine, I think. Just to put one on the board. And to make sure that the Free Worlds League at least pays some manner of price for this attack. Alright. Oof.
Scored a critical hit.
That's the thing about melee is,
Standing by.
and something you always have to think about with lights. Melee has a really good chance to hit and it does a huge amount of damage. So if you are going to play very aggressively with your lights and get them in melee range, you have to be prepared for players to just ignore your evasion and instead just give you a kicking.
Copy.
Ooh, that hurt.
That looked like a critical hit.
Now, if White is happy, he can just carry on throwing the kitchen sink at this Jenner. Since all the weapons are in the arms, it's pretty close to disabled now. Only the SRM launcher is in the CT, but the ammo is not in the CT. Oof. Well, it doesn't matter. One big problem with the Jenner, it's a weird thing to say, but one big problem with the Jenner is the ammo for the SRM launcher is not in the CT. So, if you take out the torso, I think it's the left torso, then you actually take out the SRM launcher as well. So you can potentially disable the Jenner without killing it. It's not like the Spider where the weapons are all locked in the CT and you literally have to squish the thing to stop it fighting you. Alright, so the only thing left for Ronin to do here really is to get this kill on this Wolverine and put one on the board for the Lyrian Commonwealth. Alright, realistically,
Yes,
he's not going to win this fight now. Of course, White knows this, so he is going to leg it. And so here's where you see the metagame come into play.
Let's move.
He is not going to want to give up this kill. Especially after the first fight in which, obviously, he got wiped out.
Yes, Commander. I'm there.
It's a shame, because the Centurion has actually still got tons of health.
Affirm.
It's not the most heavily armed of mediums, but it has potential to absorb a lot of damage.
What do you need?
This trebuchet is running so hot now that if he fires anything, it's going to shut down.
Understood.
But maybe he wants to. Sometimes a tactical shutdown can actually be pretty good, because it will cool your entire heat bar, pretty much. So, if you have an LRM launcher hidden behind a mountain, you might just want to alpha it non-stop until it cooks, and then shut it down to flush all the heat, and then carry on. You might actually have a better sustained DPS that way. And if the enemy cannot get line of sight on it, then they can't take advantage of the shutdown to put the hurt into it. Obviously, you lose a turn for the shutdown, but you would lose many more turns of firepower trying to vent the heat often. If it's a hot running LRM launcher, typically it would be many turns to cool it down. Ooh, he's going for it. Unfortunately, he did not land.
Armor breach. Internal damage.
At the very least, he needed to land the AC-10.
I'm here.
Okay, I'm not sure why White isn't sprinting here.
Move order received.
But he's still on the run.
Got a lock.
Okay, that's why. And it makes
Right
sense. It makes it easier to take this guy down, and
Moving
the
to
sensor lock
position.
debuff will ruin his accuracy as well.
Roger that.
I potentially would want to switch targets to the trebuchet here, because that trebuchet is a very soft mech, and it's now quite exposed, and it's also taken a frankly terrifying amount of internal damage from overheating. Plus, it's just full of ammo, so Alright, that hurt. Poor Ronan. I don't think there's much he can do here. Mistakes were made. Oof.
How'd that taste? Watch those heat levels.
Fair play to him for sticking it out to the end. But it looks to me like he will not be getting a kill this day. So very much well done to White, who has redeemed himself, I'm sure, in the eyes of the Free Worlds League by putting this win on the board, making it 1-1 between the Free Worlds League and the Lyrian Commonwealth. I don't know. Part of me is really happy that White has got a win here, and part of me thought it would be like
Standing by.
one of these tragic tales. Join the Free Worlds League. We need you.
Lucky the target.
This is just become a straight up exchange of fire here until the Centurion inevitably crumbles.
Location confirmed.
White doesn't have much to fear here because the LRM launcher has been destroyed as well, so...
Yeah?
Go for it, just fire it all.
I'm taking the shot.
What's the screenshot key? F12.
Long-range missiles are out.
Oh, I can't,
generating a lot of heat.
I can't tell him. Print screen will work. But if you're using Steam, F12 is better. Not every keyboard has got a print screen button either. Standard QWERTY one does, but short form laptop keyboards don't. Sometimes a short form laptop keyboard has got a print screen button via a function key, but it doesn't always work.
I'm under heavy fire here.
Well, I hope you pick yourself up
Yes,
after this
Commander.
loss, Ronin, and get stuck straight back in. I will be interested to see who the competitors will be, or who will be fighting the final battle between
Mission
Affecting my
successful.
performance.
the Lyrian Commonwealth and the Free Worlds League. Should be interesting, but I don't know who will be fighting it. I wonder if it will be White again. That would be he evidently is spearheading this campaign against the Lyrian Commonwealth here, so we'll see what they choose to do, and I look forward to the third and final part of this three-part battle, and hopefully we'll get to see some other action around the Inner Sphere Wars as part of Season 5 of the Inner Sphere Wars. So if you want to be a part of that, the link to the website is in the description. There is a Discord you can join, and you can get involved whatever your skill level is, and maybe you'll be on here and I will be I'll be here poking holes in your moves. I don't mean to, but it's interesting to think about what I would do from both players' perspectives, but obviously, because we haven't got an observer mode, I can't actually get a clear view of what's going on at all times. So I'm along for the ride with you guys on occasion here. So I will always take the side, maybe just a little bit, of the person who submits the video. But anyway, congratulations to White, and hopefully I will see you guys in the next one.